Assalamu alaikum ladies and gentlemen, मेरा नाम उबैद है. वेलकम टू द अनदर एक्साइटिंग एपिसोड ऑफ विक्ट्री स्पेक्ट्रम. हमारी पॉडकास्ट उन प्रोफेशनल्स और थॉट लीडर्स के गिफ्ट फोकस्ड है जिन्होंने ना सिर्फ पाकिस्तान में बल्कि इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर ही पाकिस्तान का नाम रोशन किया. और ये वाली जो पॉडकास्ट है ये पाकिस्तान पर 2025 की हमारी पहली पॉडकास्ट है. आज हमारे साथ दो ही बड़े ही रिमार्केबल और वंडरफुल गेस्ट मौजूद हैं. पहले गेस्ट का मैं तारुफ कराता हूँ. ही इज अ विजनरी लीडर and true titan of corporate Pakistan, currently serving as a chairman of Jaffer Group, previously held the position of the director and the CEO at Jaffer Brothers Private Limited. He also on the board of governance at the Kidney Center, Hunar Foundation and Tunisia Friendship Association. As far as his educational qualification is concerned, he has successfully obtained Associate Science Diploma in Agriculture from California Polytechnic University. Please welcome the finest business leader of the oldest conglomerate in Pakistan, that is Jaffer Group, Mr. Nasser Nawaz Jaffer. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for having me on your broad.
Sir, I'm really humbled to have you on my podcast. और मैं सबसे इस बात पे खुश हूं कि नॉर्मली एचआर को ओनर ड्रिवन कंपनीज में इतनी जगह नहीं दी जाती है, लेकिन नासिर साहब अपने साथ अपनी चीफ पीपल ऑफिसर मिस उरूसा महराज को लेकर आए हैं. एक छोटा तारुफ. शी इज अ सीजन्ड एचआर प्रोफेशनल, currently serving as a chief people officer and head of corporate communication at Jaffer Group. Previously worked for DKT Pakistan, Sanofi, K Electric, Education Fund for Sim, Green Star Social Marketing in senior HR capacities. And as far as her education is concerned, she has done masters in English linguistics and postgraduate diploma in economics and finance from University of Karachi. Please welcome Uroosa. Assalamu alaikum Uroosa, कैसी हैं आप?
Walaikum salam, and thank you Ubaid for having me here. And you're absolutely right that sharing the stage and the forum
with the chairman of the group.
Chairman of the group in itself represents the thought process of the group.
तो नाज़िर आपसे पहला सवाल ये है कि जाफर ग्रुप हैज अ रिमार्केबल लेगेसी ऑफ 76 years. Sir, what is the secret behind of maintaining this success for so many years, sir?
Well, alhamdulillah, the first of all is thanks to the Almighty, which is where we always start from. But at the same time, the success really starts from our elders who migrated to Pakistan and have given everything from day one and inculcated in us our core values. One of the core values is to create integrity, honesty, serving humanity, not only through people outside, but within the organization. And we are very humbled with the fact that we have got very good, strong people relationship in the organization, and thus it has helped. Whatever success today or what you see of our belonging is because of our people. And the credit goes to the whole organization. It's just not myself, but the family and friends.
Very nice, sir. Uroosa, well, heading the HR of one of the oldest and biggest conglomerates, what key HR challenges you face when you are managing such a diversified and large workforce? कितना headcount होगा अंदाज़न?
Headcount तो अगर देखा जाए तो हमारा 1800 से 2000 के बीच में ही रहता है और वेरी करता है. लेकिन जैसे आपने अभी एक बात की, अपने सवाल में ही उसका जवाब छुपा है जब आपने कहा डाइवर्स कॉन्ग्लोमरेट. So the diversity brings in challenges. और यही सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है कि जो हमारी डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ बिजनेसेस है, रेंजिंग फ्रॉम एग्रीकल्चर टू टेक इंडस्ट्री, हैवी मशीनरी, brings about challenges in identifying the right talent. So जो approach हमें use करनी पड़ती है is to have a customized talent approach in order to find the right talent for the particular business. So businesses की diversity, talent की diversity, लोगों की diversity अपने आप में एक challenge है जो हमें face करनी होती है. Not just people challenges and talent challenges, customization of various aspects of human resources. And just want to add one more thing over here.
Okay.
That the beauty of working over here is इन द वेरी फैक्ट के हमने पिछले 1-1.5 साल से अपना नॉमेनक्लेचर चेंज किया है. HR से हम चले गए हैं पीपल एंड कल्चर. एंड द रीजन बीइंग कि नॉमेनक्लेचर जो है किसी भी चीज का या वर्ड्स जो हैं दैट क्रिएट एन इम्पैक्ट एंड अ विजुअल इम्पैक्ट इनटू द माइंड ऑफ द लिसनर, जो कि हमने शायद हिस्ट्री से सीखा और पढ़ा भी. अगर वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 की मिसाल ले लें या अभी थ्रू आउट द हिस्ट्री हमने ये देखा है कि नॉमेनक्लेचर या वर्ड्स का कितना बड़ा इम्पैक्ट होता है.
बिल्कुल सही.
तो उसी नॉमेनक्लेचर को लेते हुए हमने अपने टर्म को चेंज किया है फ्रॉम HR टू पीपल एंड कल्चर. एंड द ऑब्जेक्टिव इज कि गोइंग फॉरवर्ड द फोकस इज ऑन द पीपल एंड अपहोल्डिंग द कल्चर ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन.
नासिर साहब,
Just to add a little to the past question, the most other important factor is our commitment to our customers. Customer satisfaction has led us to this day where we not only honor our commitments, even though at times at a great loss financially, but we do honor our commitment, and more importantly, try and do it well before time.
Sir, can you please share your major contributions of the group as far as road construction and building construction machinery business, please?
Well, fundamentally, we went into this business in the late 60s, and first Karakoram highway construction started at that time. So that's where the road construction comes from. And we represent a leading manufacturer of the world, Komatsu. But apart from the road construction, then these machineries were started being used in agriculture development, land leveling purposes, and then further roads, which the motorways and everything else have come about, the M1, M2, have all used this very machinery of ours. Fundamentally, there again, the importance of our establishing this is the after-sales service. The after-sales service is where the whole issue really comes from, the comfort which gives to the customer. This business has now further developed into mining.
Mining.
Yes. Before Recodic, right now, the first mining which was professionally done, although mining has been done on Pakistan, but the mining machineries were never used. The first were the Sindh Engro, the coal. That is the first, where we initially developed the machinery of Komatsu there, and then we have brought in bigger machines at Sindh Engro. And yes, you have preempted Recodic. Alhamdulillah, we are about, as far as what we have, is more or less in the finalization stages, what we call is ultra mining equipment. And we are in the final negotiation stage with them. And basically it's Komatsu who is going to come even into Pakistan and will be a main game change for Pakistan and Pakistan's economy, inshallah.
Sir, what is the role of Murshid builders in construction, high-rise buildings?
Well, fundamentally, it was in the early 80s when opportunity comes along. And the opportunity came along where Japanese grant and US aid were funding certain projects. What we developed is to deal, like under Japanese grant, the money was being paid through a Japanese construction company where we subcontracted with them. Similarly, under US aid. But that's how we started our construction. And today even, all our projects of Murshid Builders, I would say 95% of all of this is being done with under grants or aid. One or two projects we have done with reliable companies and or with the Chinese who have come in. Here again, we have done subcontracting with them. But we definitely avoid dealing directly with the normal construction projects which are going on in this country with the government.
Okay. Sir, can you please share the major initiative and the remarkable milestones of in agriculture sector of Pakistan?
Well, as you already identified that I have qualified in agriculture, so luckily more than 55 years I've been working in this organization and different forms. And the credit goes actually, the initiative and the credit goes to my elders. They were the ones who realized the most important factor for our country is to grow more food. And that is why the first initial fertilizers which came into Pakistan, alhamdulillah, has always been through Jaffer's initiatives.
Amazing.
And different kinds of fertilizers. It's not only which everybody today,
There is no FFC or Anglo.
they were non-existent at that time. They were non-existent at all. Basically, it was a government initiative, money coming in from various governments, specifically USAID and others. And we started with nitrogenous fertilizers. Everybody today knows only one, which is called urea. But technically, before it started, there was ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, there were many such nitrogenous fertilizers. Then came the phosphatic, and then came the potash. And every fertilizer which has come into this country initially has been initiated by Pakistan, by Jaffer brothers. However, the support was always there from the government because the government subsidy program was always there. We were doing that. That led to us, we were successful enough to get a sanction from the government in the late 60s to put up a fertilizer factory. Okay. Unfortunately, in 72, early, it got nationalized. So that's why you don't hear. We lost everything. There's never been a settlement to us till today because we were totally 100% privately owned. Had it been... Absolutely. It happened at that time. It was a big blow. Suddenly, I mean, not only that.
How do you cope?
Well, I mean,
एकदम से जो है सारे एसेट्स वैसे सब जो है एकदम से गवर्नमेंट ने टेक ओवर कर लिए, सब कुछ फ्रीज हो गया.
ये देखें, ये जब मैंने आपसे शुरू में कहा कि अल्लाह ताला के ऊपर, that's where we believe, our emphasis, वो रिस्क देने वाला है, वो रिस्क दे देता है. तो that is where we firmly believe. Yes, overnight, not only fertilizer, there was the other institution which we used to be working with was our truck industry, and we had put up an industrial corporation which also got nationalized the same night. So there were 4 of our family members jobless the very next morning.
And what about the workforce?
The workforce was continued. The workforce continued with the nationalization. With the nationalization, but whether they continued to stay there for a longer period or left, that we do not know. But unfortunately, in the fertilizer one, they did not nationalize anything significant from labor point of view because the factory had not come up till then. It was in the process. So that project was merged into, today it's called Fatma Group's Pak Arab. Okay. So basically it got merged into Pak Arab. Some of those machinery, etc. went there. So having said that, that was the first, inputs of all kinds. And our distribution also was nationalized at that time, fertilizer distribution. So we were out of the fertilizer distribution till 1994 when the government reopened the fertilizer distribution to the private sector. But in the meantime, we were still very much entrenched in developing fertilizer. Again, credit goes to our elders. We started introducing pesticides. The inputs, fundamentally, it was insecticides in those days because that was the need of the day. And slowly, gradually, in 1981, government opened up private sector 100%. And thereafter, we continued promoting pesticides. At one time, Jaffers were representing something like 10 to 12 pesticide manufacturers around the world. Slowly, gradually, the world globalization, which I call globalization, took over those companies. And today, they're left with only 4 internationally at the moment. And we represent now more, our imports are coming from, majority from China. At one time when India was allowed, there was some coming from India as well, but not anymore. And we have some Japanese as well as European source supplies. Apart from that, we have emphasized in the seed. And I'd like to emphasize one major factor where Jaffer's contribution has been. Well, I say we have taken a lot of initiatives in agriculture. And one of this great initiative was to bring in potato seed in the area of Hunza. And I just want to share what happened in Hunza. When I went for the first time, I was, garlanded and credited by the villagers over there. By saying, we salute Ayub Khan for connecting us the road, by connecting us to the world. We salute Aga Khan for giving us education and medical support. And finally, Jaffer brothers for giving us the color of money. We had never seen money in our life. Today, because they used to barter their produce. So the first time they got cash for their produce. And today, if you go to Hunza, it's totally potato growing country of Onza, and it's gone up to the many other hills of Naltar elsewhere as well. Coming back again in the although it was initiated in 90, but it didn't work at that time. But come 2002-3, government realized that water is becoming scarce, so they started promoting drip irrigation, which is called high efficiency irrigation system, which was further established through solar as well. And today we are representing anywhere between 35 to 45% of the customers in Punjab. And when Sindh for 3 years, they had this subsidy program. This program is actually funded again by World Bank. So therefore, I mean, when you're asking me that question, but here I must give credit to even Punjab government's department. They've been very clean, very efficient, very receptive. They are receptive, they are supportive, and they even take care of their commitments and responsibilities, except where we have been always struggling is that revision of pricing is one of the major constraints. But other than that, it's a feat from top to bottom. They've been very receptive to dealing with private sector and giving the support wherever needed. So we have successfully done that, but of late, as you may have heard and read about this great corporate agriculture coming up, so where pivot is being promoted at a much larger scale, and we are also representing a couple of major suppliers in the world. One is Lindsay from USA, and there's a Turkish company as well, where we are reaching out and giving service to the corporate farming community and ensuring not. You see, there are some who just sell the equipment and then never go back. Our success in agriculture is from the beginning, especially from the 80s, because once it became open to private sector, we go and serve to the customer. So we are at his doorstep, farmer. We go to the doorstep. We make sure that we are there to support him, educate him.
How responsive are they?
Well, some are.
That's a layman question.
Some are very responsive. Some are absentee landlords. That's where we are struggling. That's where we are trying to, and that's why in the drip irrigation, I'm trying to encourage our team to bring in innovation through, the artificial intelligence, running the farms or giving the irrigation requirements for the field, for the crop, based on automation. Thereby, human error is the least. I mean, you see, just to give you a classical example, if a drip irrigation is not somewhere, if there is some kind of a dirt which has come in and it's blocked one of the nozzles, that plant is not going to get water, right? So somebody has to walk the field. And if they don't walk the field, very soon that plant or that area will die because of a lack of water. Now, that's where the importance comes from. That's why I suggest automation, because automation will immediately give you straight away, nozzle number 24 is not working, so somebody goes and fixes it right there and there. So that's why I'm emphasizing on automation. Eventually, it's going to come if agriculture has to succeed. Drones is the other area where we have looked at. We are still looking at that possibility, but there are some people who have taken the initiative. Initially it was very restricted because of security reasons, but now slowly government is allowing it, opening up the opportunities. So we are at the same time engaging some of these organizations which can do through AI surveys of the farms where we are working and where we are bringing this technology to the farmer. Having said that, in agriculture, the other areas which has brought major significance is productivity and increasing the yield. And again, this is somewhere around 2010, 11, we came up with a technology which was originally from Canada. The technology, we brought it in Pakistan, which is through biotechnology. Basically means we are using bacteria. And what does it do? it enhances the productivity by 10 to 15% of the crop. And what are we doing? We are applying it on natural fertilizers, chemical fertilizers. The bacteria goes to sleep rather, not dies, goes to sleep on the fertilizer till the time it goes into the soil. The moment it goes into the soil, it just starts activating and releasing. So this is something which we have developed in Pakistan along with the help of the Canadians and doing successfully. And we are using mainly on urea and DAP because these are the two major fertilizers which is being used.
Excellent. Sir, what are your group contribution in technology space, sir?
Well, I mean, if you want to know, again, here's the great initiative, and I give a lot of credit to my elder brother who took this initiative and went out to reach to an organization in those days called Digital Equipment Corporation. People are not aware of the fact, everybody thought IBM is number one in computers. Yes, actually, big mainframes in those days, digital was the one which was the leader at that time. In the 80s, early 80s. And they refused to come to any country where they could not open up their own offices. Okay. But after 6 months of persuasion, credibility checks on us, they decided to appoint us as our distributors. In Pakistan. Exclusive.
Very nice.
And we developed that business till they were bought over. Like I said, in pesticides, globalization, they were bought over by Compaq. Okay. And then further Compaq was bought over by HP.
Okay, now it's HP.
HP. And we have been representing them since 1984.
Very long association.
Absolutely. And the credit goes also to our people who worked with us and our family who committed to this. That today even we are the only initiators who started in 84 are still existent. Many who started at that time had to close down this business or have left and sold it out to somebody else. And there are newcomers in this business. Now, having said that, that was just part of the HP. But through that time frame, we not only went through initially trying to develop our own software, but then realizing that we could not retain people because the opportunities were far greater overseas for them. So every time we would get somebody, they would be leaving. So we left it and then we went straight to realizing we got in Oracle. And we started representing them because this is a software which is already developed, so you can go in and tailor make it for the customer as it went along. While doing that, we also came along with other opportunities. Like Xerox was one of the companies which we represented for nearly 25 years. That's the only company we had to forego ourselves. They didn't forego us. We had to forego them ourselves because of unfortunate methodology being used in this part of the world where people bring their stuff in suitcases and thereby avoiding sales tax, duties, etc. So we told Xerox, this business cannot flourish in Pakistan. And unfortunately, they did try for another year or so with somebody else, but they realized that, and therefore Xerox is not in Pakistan at all. In the IT space, there came up with another great opportunity while developing. We developed through our software, and the only place it was done in Islamabad, the federal capital, we developed a local ID card.
Local ID for Nadra.
Before Nadra ever came into existence. Okay. This was done in People's Party time frame, Benazir government. They did it, initiated it in Islamabad. However, that did not go on for the whole country. But come 2002, Nadra was created, and we were one of the contract of Nadra was given to 6 different contractors for 6 different opportunities. So one of those opportunities was to do data entry. Okay. And we set up within 15 days, 6,000 computers.
6,000 workstations.
In 8 cities. And deployed people for 24/7. And Alhamdulillah, in 6 months' time, we did the data entry for Nadra at that time. Whatever people... Absolutely. So this is another milestone which we achieved. Not only that, but we introduced through that process in time, getting to know people, company called Cogent in America, where did their fingerprinting, and they have AFIS as its biometrics as it's called, and facial recognition. We got a company called Visage, which today Nadra has deployed in their system. Those companies also got globalized, and now it's one company from France which is giving them service for this very projects. So this is another milestone which was done. And at the same time, by using Xerox equipment printing, we did print the first election data requirement for across the country, where people don't realize what happens before election. There's one printing done pre-election, and people go and verify that the names and addresses are the right places. That is reconfirmed and then corrected and reprinted again. So then it goes to the election commission, through election commission to all these stations where... So that part of the initiative was also done by, through the technology automation by Jaffers. Today, in that process, like I mentioned in Nadra, there was another friend of ours who actually was one of the many employees who have gone through our organization, went to a company called NCR, and NCR also had a contract in Nadra to develop the card processing from the IT. The gentleman I'm naming is Mr. Waqarul Islam, who is our CEO today of Jaffer Business System. He eventually went through a few multinationals, came back to Pakistan. I should say I enticed him to join us back because he wanted to work in Pakistan, and we are lucky to have him. And he's now heading our organization, which converted from Jaffer Business Systems now into a Jaffer Business Private Limited company. And I will share something more as we go along further, that it's not only that they managed to run this, but they have been able to do certain other aspects by adding into the group activity. We have been able to now get in SAP, Microsoft, and roughly quite a few, I would say, on the iCloud area as well, 40-odd partner in this area of activity.
Excellent. Uroosa, for this huge business conglomerate, what is your HR strategy to retain talent?
Again, when we talk about the HR strategy, it's no different from strategies probably being used at other businesses. I think what's unique over here is the diversity, and you've heard how rich our history has been and how diverse our businesses are. And obviously with diversity comes diversity of talent requirements. So if we talk about the strategy, it is divided into 3 aspects.
Okay.
Customization.
Okay.
Business-wise customization, because each business is very different. Within those business, there are various different verticals.
Okay.
So agar Jaffer Business Systems ki baat kare, so there's a vertical called Jaffer Consulting. There's a vertical called Jaffer Information System, where the hardware equipment is sold. Then there are different softwares. So each segment of that particular business requires a different skill set. So customization, and with skill set comes the customization of their rewards, customization of how you engage them, how you attract them. So high level of customization, and that's where
how you are attracting employee branding. Kaise kar rahe?
Employer branding, obviously by segmenting.
Oh.
I think the strategy that we are focusing right now on segmenting our population, segmenting them, and customizing their solution. Of course, in this stride, we are doing a lot of trial and error. So we are experimenting and identifying the right methodology of attracting them. तो एक तो ये अप्रोच है. So high level of customization, which the journey of to which we have already started, and we are going to pace up on that aspect in the coming years. Especially 2025-26 is the year of transformation. और कस्टमाइजेशन के साथ हम स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन की भी एस्पेक्ट को अपहोल्ड कर रहे हैं. Why
Standardization of the processes, am I right? Streamlining.
Standardization of the processes, unification of the values, because while we are customizing, it's equally important for us to retain the rich heritage of the group, because be it Jaffer Business System, Jaffer Agro Services, or Jaffer Brothers Private Limited, the parent company, which is dealing with heavy machinery, construction, and engineering services. So we have to maintain the values. So the values will remain, and they will be part of. We'll have to keep the values intact. So that's where the standardization comes. So as far as the overall culture is concerned, within that different flavors of the businesses, you want to retain that culture, and culture, the backbone of culture is the values that we uphold. So bringing that aspect of values, translating into actionable behaviors, and then ensuring that it is revised and talked about day in and day out for everyone to display those behaviors every day. So that's in itself is a challenge, and at the same time part of the strategy. And the third thing is innovation. I think that is very deep rooted in the very history of the group.
The senior team is receptive of the innovative ideas from HR.
अभी आपने I think Nasser साहब की बात सुनी कि how as an entrepreneur they have innovated, they've come up with innovative ideas, innovative solutions, and they've always been very receptive to what is coming in. So
that's the best thing.
So that's the best thing, and it is very, I would say, very different from the general,
conventional owner-driven companies. मैं तो कह रहा हूँ.
बिल्कुल.
That's right.
बिल्कुल. So innovation को बहुत welcome किया जाता है, accept किया जाता है, which is actually paired with good logic. Okay. So if you have,
you need to justify with the reasoning.
You need to justify with the reasoning, and that's where we are challenged. So I think अगर मैं HR strategy की बात करूँ, so strategic perspective of the business, I think, started with 2018. Am I right? So the real strategy started to build up in 2018, 2020. We gained the momentum, and every department, every business started developing strategy, where HR strategy was also plugged in. And right now in 2024, we sort of relooked at our strategy then. The strategy, though, has been developed for 2030, so we have reshaped it for 2030 and 2024, and now we are at the cusp of launching our new strategy for 2030, keeping in mind our 2030 vision, whereas we are focusing on the next 3 years.
Okay.
So हम constantly mold भी कर रहे हैं अपनी strategy को, but अगर strategy key pillars की बात करें तो of course it's talent. It's innovation, which is at the heart of it, embracing technology, trying to bring in transformation as well as digitalization of our processes, maintaining the standardization, but at the same time ensuring that each business gets the right talent at the right time, giving the right results.
Perfect. And so, as a business leader, handling and heading the oldest and one of the largest conglomerates in Pakistan, what is the secret of your success?
I think I initially mentioned it, that, you see, we emphasize very much first in-house to our people. We recognize them. We give them the opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
I may give you a couple of examples on this aspect. A stenographer, I'm talking about the 50s. A stenographer in the 50s becoming a general manager in your industrial company, and then eventually becoming a partner for one of the industries which we had put up. So this is
Obviously, you've provided the upskilling opportunity as well.
absolutely. And as we went along, the training, etc., went on. So I'm just saying that it's been from that inception. Our elders were also. Unfortunately, the perception outside in our local world, this terminology which we use it we feel it very personally against it, called SATs. We are not a SAT organization. We are
Visionary.
we belong to our people. We support them. We encourage them,
The best part.
and that is the basic factor. The other factor which comes along is the integrity. It's normally आप कहते हैं ना कि भाई लिख के तो करते हैं हम काम, मगर ज़बान पे हम बड़ा जोर देते हैं.
यही बात है.
If we honor our commitment, if we have said it, then we honor it.
Whether express or reply doesn't make any difference.
So as far as this is what our elders inculcated in us, and alhamdulillah, we have been able to follow it, implement it, and thus hopefully our next generation will also, who's also with us, will also continue to do the same. There, with that comes, which I mentioned very strongly earlier even, the commitment brings up the after-sales service. And that's where that's where you get the reward, where the customer feels he is first, not whether he or she. As far as our terminology, both are equal to us. So whoever, they may be as far as personality-wise, but we always are. Customer delight is one of our major forte, and that is where we are emphasizing our future to grow. Because if we cannot deal, these are the two things: our people and our customer. If we can do right with them,
Customer delight and the people.
and
That's the combination.
and there is success, and there's nothing less than that.
Sir, last question. Jaffer brother has a long track record of making strong relationship. What is the secret behind it, and what's the role basically?
Awad Saab, first of all, as I said initially also, this is again kindness of Allah Ta'ala who's given us this ability, to honor our commitments. And by honoring our commitments, the principals also realize that. And our selection of principals has not been just go and select anyone, but we have gone selecting principals of repute who eventually also have similar core values. And I can assure you this, if you check their core values and check ours, we are on the website, you'll find maybe one or two more in ours than theirs. And that's what they appreciate. That's what they see. That's what they believe in. We have, to the best of my knowledge, in the 55 years of mine, we have not lost a principle. What? We've not lost a principle. Other than Xerox, which I mentioned, we went to them to close our relationship. So we have not lost our principle.
That's the beauty, client retention.
So, there are principles of ours, 50 years like Komatsu, 40 plus years of dealing with, I mentioned to you, the names have changed. Today it's HP. And we have grown with them, and they've grown with us. At the end of the day, the principals also realize one factor. Even though their name may be excellent internationally, but they need somebody domestic to be able to hold their name and not let them down. So that's
to be credible.
exactly. So that's where the success is, where we are coming from. And if I would like to apologize to anyone if we have let them down, but as far as we know, we have honored our commitment, even though if we have suffered a loss. But we have not run away just because, today the prices have changed, and we have tried to. And this is why some of the businesses which we have left now from the government is fundamentally because of the fact that we have taken a lot of beating of late in the last 2 years, because government do not have that flexibility of price changes with the dollar rupee, as you all know what happened in the country. And we have honored that. We've taken the beating. We've paid the highest interest rates going at that time, and still continues now, although alhamdulillah it's coming down. But so when you ask me this question, how have you succeeded? This is the only answer I can give. And when you talk about locally, we've gone locally also into partnerships with others. In agro business, today we are partnering with one of the major leading rice exporters, and we Garib Sons, Conwell, RB, basically Rafiq and Bashir brothers, friends, and then Malvi Foods. Along with them, we have partnered into a rice transplanting and rice harvesting machinery.
Rice transplanting
And harvesting machinery under the name of Kushal Kisan Pakistan Private Limited. Plus, 2 years later, we started this about 5 years ago. 2 years later, we went with the seed. We incorporated our seed business. Now it's known as GS Jaffer Seeds. They are our partners in that. 3 years ago, we started another project with Garib Sons and a local partner, Mr. Faisal Iftikhar of Blue Foods. I'm sorry, giving the wrong name, but Mr. Faisal Iftikhar and a Hungarian company with major shareholding for their technology called VitaFort in fish business. So this has been established in Garo, and inshallah we are hoping to grow as we go along, grow into this area of business. So locally previously we were not partnering, but now we've started because nowadays it is very clear if you want to grow a good concept and bigger businesses. And luckily, I must say, the people we have gone ahead with appreciate our core values and stand behind us on that. And we are the lead partners, but although we are equal partners, but they've given me that respect of chairmanship of all these activities, and that is what we are doing. Similarly, Vakarul Islam, who I said I induced him and I convinced him, and he became our partner in this, and he's running so he took on the initiative to bring in, and this may be a question later on also you may come up with. So just to answer that, how do we take care of the entrepreneurs local? There are some very good young companies which want to do business and they cannot, and they're looking for venture capitalists. While we have encouraged them and give them, what we encourage them is by taking on 51% shares of that company.
The major shareholding.
So that we can guide them, not control them, but to guide them, to give them that necessary strength to be able to establish themselves. So there are three such companies three such ventures we have already incorporated. Till 2030, Mr. Vakarul Islam has a plan to go up to 10. And out of that, while we are at it, I think we are already on the 5th discussions going on. And these companies...
Are the startups making profit or not, sir?
Blue Tech Consulting has made very good profits.
Okay.
ENA has started making profits, right? And Impare has just initiated. And this Impare actually is an organization. This is another hit which we got in 3 years ago.
Are the founders comfortable? Just one layman question. एक कोई भी investor है 51% की equity ले जाए? Sorry.
देखिए, what we are taking from them is nothing.
Okay.
Let me just share with you. We are giving. We are not taking. And what are we giving? Complete support system. The PN, the people and culture. I didn't.
Culture also supporting.
Yeah.
It's a shared service.
We are giving them banking facility, financing, which they don't have. So under our name, they get financing. Not only that, but also recognition in the marketplace. You see, exactly. If you turn around and say, "Who are you?" We say, "Oh, we have a Jaffer." Oh, okay, fine. So therefore, straight away they get the business because if the Jaffers are committing, that means fine. So those are the areas.
Credibility.
Those are the areas whereas when you talk of a venture capitalist, the venture capitalist is given the money. They have to start and establish themselves. They have to establish their name. They have to struggle a lot more.
They don't have any intervention.
And mind you, while we have given a very clear understanding to each one of them, The day they decide they want to buy us out, we'll be the last to resist. We'll encourage it. Because our intention is to make more such organizations, companies develop into success. And this is the other area which I would like to re-emphasize. There are, I mean, the lady sitting here even may have a little concern, and her past people who were with us as well. I'm one of the first ones who turns around and says, if any employee of ours is leaving us for her or his betterment, we encourage them. We encourage them.
No caution, no enticement, nothing.
I mean, look, we will try and match if it is but generally they're going to a multinationals, majority of them. And the chances and they go back as our good ambassadors. The relationship which we have today, we created the day one when somebody comes in, we call them, you are in the Jaffer family. And we respect that. And when they leave, we are still in touch with them. Many times, many places, we do come across them and they do give that necessary consideration of their association. It's nothing to do, it's always on merit. And employability is also on merit. This is another area where we emphasize that we have dealt with the government for the last 70 years, right? But when it comes to employability, we resist. We do not give...
no references, nothing, sir?
We do not accept it. Why? We say the person has to be on merit. 18-20, okay, we can train the person. But if it is, can't do it, better to say no now, then 6 months later, fire the person and get into that much more. So these are some of the successes which I've shared with you, what has been inculcated in us by our elders and which we have tried to inculcate in our organization. That is the most important factor of all.
Thank you, Nasser Sahab. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Uroosa, for joining us. Viewers, मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ you enjoyed the podcast as well. Stay tuned for the more episodes. Thank you.